Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Sports Blitz here, back with another NFL video. Before I get into it, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Guys, we're only 12 subscribers away from 350. If you guys could smash that like button and subscribe, that'll really help out the channel. But let's go ahead and get into today's video. So previously, I did a playoff prediction for the NFL, and I do realize that I messed up some of the seating. Um, I didn't realize that based off how I had the seeds that the Browns would actually be, I believe, playing the Chiefs. I think I messed up how that is, but regardless, my Super Bowl teams still remain the same, regardless of who they play. I personally think the Browns are the best team in the AFC. I think they're the most complete team in the AFC, and I think the Bucks are the best team in the NFC. So, my Super Bowl teams still remain the same, but today I'm going to be predicting basically the score for the Super Bowl as well as the really important stats for it. So, starting off, I have the Buccaneers beating the Browns 30-24. Okay? I think it'll be a lot closer than last year. For passing stats, I see Baker Mayfield throwing somewhere around 250 to 260 passing yards with 2 touchdowns and an interception. When I thought about these stats, I strongly considered having Baker Mayfield throw 2 interceptions, but because the Browns' offensive line is so good, I don't think he's going to be under pressure, quite as much as Patrick Mahomes was in last year's Super Bowl. And I think the protection's going to be good enough that it's not going to make him throw a second interception, if that makes sense. So, about 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception for Baker. For Tom Brady, I see somewhere in the range of 300 to 320 passing yards with actually 3 touchdowns. I think all of the Bucks touchdowns in this game come from Tom Brady passing. I do not think there's going to be a rushing touchdown for the Bucks. So, and then I think Tom Brady will also throw one interception. So overall, 250 yards for Baker, 2 touchdowns and interception. For Tom Brady, 300 to 320 passing yards, 3 touchdowns and an interception. Okay. Moving on to the rushing stats. For the Browns, I expect this to be a pretty good game rushing wise. In my opinion, the Browns have the best running back duo in the league in Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. The stats I have down for each of them is for Nick Chubb, I have 19 attempts for 78 rushing yards and 1 touchdown. For Kareem Hunt, I have 8 attempts for 39 yards, no touchdown. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, for Ronald Jones, I see 14 attempts for 58 yards. Again, no touchdown. For Leonard Fournette, I also see 14 attempts for 49 yards, roughly. Again, no touchdowns. I don't think any running back in this game is going to be like absolutely dominant. Like, I don't think anyone's going to go off for 150 rushing yards or anything like that. Both these teams, I think, have solid duos. I mean, Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette, I feel like, are a very underrated running back duo. I think they could be a lot better this year than people think. So there's the rushing stats there. Receiving wise, now, okay, these numbers aren't going to be exact because I didn't really take into consideration each team's, like fourth, fifth, and sixth string wide receivers. I really just considered who I think are really going to make the bigger impacts. So for the Browns, I actually had Odell with 8 receptions for 90 yards and a touchdown. Then I had Jarvis Landry with 6 receptions for 62 yards and a touchdown. So Odell and Jarvis Landry get Baker's touchdowns there. Then for Austin Hooper, I have him with also 6 receptions for 54 yards. For Kareem Hunt, I have him with 5 receptions for around 40 yards. The rest of Baker's passing yards, I think, will be kind of divided out between, his other playmakers. I didn't think any of them were going to make a big enough impact that I needed individual stat lines for them. So let's go ahead and move on to the Bucs. So for Mike Evans, I had him with 7 receptions for 92 receiving yards and a touchdown. For Chris Godwin, I had him with 7 receptions, 90 yards, and a touchdown. So almost identical stats to Mike Evans. Pretty close. For Antonio Brown, I have him with 6 receptions for 65 receiving yards. No touchdown. For Gronk, I have 4 receptions for 40 yards and a touchdown. And then the remaining 20 to 40 passing yards for Tom Brady, again, will be divvied out between the rest of their playmakers. Again, I didn't think anybody else was going to have, a big enough game to really make, to really have their own stat line on here. Moving on to defensive stats. I'm not going to do, individual tackles because that's going to get annoying and repetitive. So overall, I have Myles Garrett with a sack and a half and Jadeveon Clowney with half a sack. I do think they only sacked Tom Brady twice. I don't think... Because I think the Bucs have a top 10, maybe even top 5 offensive line. I think Myles Garrett behind TJ Watt is the best edge rusher in the league. I think him and Jadeveon Clowney will share a sack, and then Myles Garrett will get another lone sack. For the Browns, I think it'll be Denzel Ward who picks off Tom Brady. And I don't think the Browns will force any fumbles either. So that's about it for the Browns' defensive stats. For the Bucs, I have... Excuse me. For the Bucs, I have Ndamukong Suh and Vita Vea, each with half a sack. I have Shaquille Barrett with a sack. And yeah, I think the Bucks only get 2 sacks as well. In my opinion, and I know this is gonna surprise a lot of people, I think the Browns have the best offensive line in football. I don't think they're gonna allow too many pressures or sacks on Baker Mayfield this year. So again, 2 sacks for the Bucks, half for Vita Vea, half for Ndamukong Suh, and one for Shaquille Barrett. I could maybe see Jason Pierre-Paul possibly getting in on one as well. It just depends on how the defensive game plan comes. And then for the Bucks, I have the interception coming from Devin White. I think Devin White will be the one to pick off Baker Mayfield. So, yeah, those are my predictions for the Super Bowl. Let me know your predictions. I was getting a lot of flack for having the Browns go to the Super Bowl. A lot of people were saying, no, the Bills are better, and no, the Chiefs are better, yada yada. I personally think the Bills are the best team in the AFC. Or sorry, the Browns. The Browns. I think they have the best offensive line in football. I think overall they have the most complete team. Like, I don't see any real glaring hole on the Browns roster. They might be a little bit thin at defensive tackle, but that's about it. I think everywhere else the Browns look incredible. And as far as the Bucks, looking at the NFC, I think they're still miles ahead of everyone else. I mean, yeah, I think Washington is going to be good this year. I think Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers returning will be really good this year. I think San Fran will be good. I think the Rams will be good. I mean, there's a lot of like good teams in the NFC. Like after the Bucks, it gets really competitive. But I think the Bucks are just on a much higher level than anybody else in the NFC. So that's why I have them returning to the Super Bowl. So again, let me know your Super Bowl predictions this year. Let me know what you thought of mine. Let me know if there was any, really important stat here that I missed. But again, guys, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you next time. Later.